Hi, welcome. My name's Jane from Fit for Your Life, and this is my online studio here in my home, but I also go out and do live classes and things elsewhere. But today it's Breast Cancer Awareness Day. Wear It Pink Day. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about breast cancer and some of the things you can do to exercise. So first of all, let's just talk a little bit about breast cancer. Obviously, most people know how to check themselves, but if not, please go to an NHS website, find the details out there. If you think you have a lump, a rash, discharge, anything unusual, always go and get it checked out. Don't think, oh, the doctor's too busy, or it's COVID, I can't get to see a doctor. You can. So please do go and get it checked out quickly. They will see to it, and if you need to be seen, you'll be seen very quickly. It might turn out to be nothing, but it'll give you peace of mind. So please always do go and get yourself checked if you're worried. So what are the causes of breast cancer? A lot of the causes are age, hence why we do the mammogram screening after the age of 50, but also if there's a family history, it tends to run in families. We all may have heard of the gene, the BRCA gene that runs in the families, so your family history is important. Any previous diagnosis of cancers, being overweight and drinking too much alcohol are also risk factors for breast cancer in particular. So try and eat a healthy, moderate lifestyle. Diagnosis, as I say, is usually via a mammogram or a biopsy. You can get different types of breast cancer, and there's different types of treatment. You may have surgery, so you may have part of the breast removed. You might have chemotherapy. You might have radiotherapy, or you might even have a mixture of all of that. However, most people nowadays do happily survive and go on to live long and happy lives. How do you live, though, if you do get diagnosed with breast cancer? You're going to need support from your friends and your family. Don't overdo it. Don't rush back to doing things. You will feel tired after treatment, so make time for yourself. Do something you enjoy. Maybe spend some time reading a book, doing some meditation, doing some yoga. All those sort of things are all good for you. As I briefly mentioned, the causes, let's talk about how we can prevent it. So obviously eating healthily, a low-fat diet, low alcohol, and getting regular exercise. So that brings me on to the main purpose of today's talk, to talk about some exercise. So it's important to do a bit of aerobic exercise and to do some resistance and some flexibility. Regular exercise can actually reduce the risk of breast cancer by 1/3. So even if you haven't got breast cancer at the moment, get exercising. And it can also help improve the outlook of those that have breast cancer. So we all need to do some exercise. What you need to do is to avoid lifting heavy things, particularly first of all when you're diagnosed, if you've had treatment, heavy housework, so get the husband to do the ironing and do the hoovering, get people to help you with the cooking, looking after the kids. Some long-term complications will be lymphedema, which is a build-up of fluids, quite often here under the armpit or in the arm, and there are lots of things that we can do to help with that, but in particular, exercise. So exercise, as I said, can reduce the risk of cancer in the first place, reduce the risk of it coming back. It can also help with fatigue, with weight loss, weight management rather, with osteoporosis. There's lots of other sort of health benefits to doing exercise as well. And it can give you a feeling of wellness as well. So we need to do a mixture, as I said, of aerobic and resistance. Low intensity though, so don't go hammering it out, running marathons and boot camps and things like that. So we want but first of all, get some mobility. So let's start off with that, shall we? Let's start off just with a little shoulder roll to begin with. So particularly if you've had operations, you might feel tight in the chest, there might be scar tissue there, and these are some movements we can do to help with that. So we're just doing some shoulder rolls in one direction and then in the other direction. So it's important to maintain mobility. Good. All right, let's try it with a little circle now. So obviously you might not be able to do circles straight away. You might just lift your arms up and then back down, or just do one arm. So again, just do what you can manage. And again, you might want to do some forwards as well as backwards. So let's just do some front raises. So if you can't do those circles, here you go. Just lifting your arms up and down in front, lifting them a little bit higher, just getting mobility in your shoulder and across your chest. Lovely. And then let's take those arms just out and in. Again, you vary how wide you take it depending on your flexibility and your ability. Always listen to your own body though. Lovely. Okay, taking your hand behind your back. So as if you're reaching for that bra strap. So that's a good one if you've got shoulder issues as well, just seeing how far up your back you can reach. And then let's try it the other way. So lifting your arm up. First of all, just being able to lift your arm up is the challenge. But if you can manage to lift your arm up, we're then going to try bending, taking your hand behind your head. So you can imagine you're brushing your hair. Try and reach to that back of your neck as if you're going to scratch it. And try it with the other hand. So again, you might want to use your arm just to lift it up. You could give it a little bit of support here if you need to. Or you can do it without the support. Let's have some rotation. So you can either have those arms out wide, so a little bit of spinal mobility here, or you can again shorten those levers, arms in close. And then we'll do a little bit just leaning from side to side again. Okay, so some exercises you might be given by a physiotherapist or rehab as part of your cancer treatment would be your good arm resting on a little tabletop or a chair like this. Think about pulling your tummy in, so I'm engaging my core, my knees are just slightly bent, and then I'm just going to let my arm that's been on the breast cancer side, just going to let it swing. So just letting it swing forward and back. And then I'm going to take it in and out. And then round in a circle. So it's a really nice way of using gravity to get mobility in your arm and shoulder. So you can then make those exercises harder by adding in a tin of beans or a little dumbbell. Perfectly pink here today. So let's just demonstrate that and just turn my camera down so you can see better. Alright, so here again I'm just doing little swings forward and back. Out at the side, in and out. And then maybe some circles as well. Don't have too heavy a weight though. So that's a more advanced option there. You can also use those weights standing up. So again, we can be lifting your arm up there, building some strength. So I said doing some resistance work. You could do this with a TheraBand instead of a dumbbell. And then again, you could do some out at the sides. So building up some strength, having worked on mobility first. Some of those exercises have been focusing sort of on the muscles around the front here. We also actually want to focus on those back muscles as well. So a nice one to do that is actually down on the floor. So let's just check you can see me if I come down. Yep. All right. So it's called a single arm row. You're lifting the weight up, lifting that elbow up. So think about a box position. Your hips are level and flat. Your tummy's pulled in and your head and neck are in line. So don't let your head drop. And you're just lifting it up. So again, you could do that with or without a weight. Just working some of those upper back muscles. Now, if you have got a TheraBand, so here's a band, another nice one you could do is to actually wrap it around your staircase or some doors like this, anything that's not going to move, and then you're squeezing back in. So it's working the same sort of muscles here, working the upper back in between those shoulder blades. So lots of different ways that you can exercise that. So I hope that gives you some hope, some encouragement and some ideas on exercises that you can do with breast cancer. I particularly run a yoga for cancer, all cancer types, at Bedford Daycare Hospice. Please send me a message privately or leave me a comment here, and I can put you in touch with the right people if you're interested in joining that. And otherwise, let's just celebrate being a woman, being positive, and being a survivor. However, I should also say men do get breast cancer too, so sorry, I should have included you as well. So thank you for listening today, and I hope you stay positive.